and I've also been guessing since morning also. October is a month with many festivals, and we are adding one more festival, that is the Festival of Democracy, to this month of October. अक्टूबर के इस त्यौहार के माहौल में लोकतंत्र के त्यौहार को भी हम लोग जोड़ रहे हैं इलेक्शन कमीशन की तरफ से, जिसमें 18 साल से लेके 100 वर्ष तक के बुजुर्ग मतदाताओं का एक बहुत ही बहुरंगी इंद्रधनुष है. It's a fantastic rainbow of the voters ranging from 18 years to 100 plus, and we'll focus a bit on this rainbow. I would explain in the detail about this, but in the meantime, to move forward, the elections, when we conduct, we have three broad objectives. First is the elections have to be free, fair, inclusive, accessible, and inducement free. And the second major vertical is the voter, that the voting experience should be very, very comfortable. And thirdly, the maximum voter participation, especially of the young voters, urban voters, PWDs, and senior citizens. These four categories we intend to focus more, which I'll explain. भारत निर्वाचन आयोग स्वतंत्र और निष्पक्ष, प्रलोभन मुक्त, इंड्यूसमेंट फ्री तरीके से विधानसभा का आगामी निर्वाचन चुनाव कराने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है, और हमारा प्रयास है कि वरिष्ठ नागरिकों, दिव्यांगजनों, महिलाओं, नए मतदाताओं सबकी भागीदारी बहुत ही सशक्त तरीके से आने वाले चुनावों में हों. Through the vast reach of the media, I would request first that interaction will start with the wish that our appeal is being heard by most of the voters, and they will come out to participate wholeheartedly in this forthcoming Festival of Democracy. Before going into the mode of the elections, we have an extensive process of consultation. And the magnitude and scale of our elections is really awe-inspiring, as you all know. For the last few months, our entire team, which you are seeing here, has been working on organizing these elections, ranging from the electoral rolls to the management of logistics to various things which we will explain. Periodic reviews were done by them. The commission also went to the states where the elections are due, and we had detailed meetings with the DOs, with the SPs, and with all the enforcement agencies, chief secretaries, DGs, and everyone who is involved in either conduct of elections or in the enforcement side of this. We also simultaneously discussed the COVID situation, as it has been bothering in the last two rounds of elections. We had a detailed discussion with the Health Secretary, Union Health Secretary, and also with the Chief Secretaries and DGs of the concerned states, Health Secretaries. It doesn't seem to be that much of a concern now, but still, the states have been advised that they will continue to follow the five-fold strategy of test, track, treat, vaccinate, and follow the appropriate behavior. We have revised our guidelines, which are in this form, essentially saying that they have to follow the norms set by the Health Ministry and also the respective SDMAs in the states if there is any situation that warrants the tightening or the graded response to the COVID situation. Friends, the first and foremost thing in conducting an election is the electoral roll. A healthy, error-free electoral roll is the primary step, that is the base on which the entire elections are held. And the special summary revision has just happened. The electoral rolls have been published in the concerned states. And during this exercise, the Commission has laid a special emphasis on registration of new age voters, women, transgenders, and persons with disabilities. In order to ensure a clean electoral roll, the photographically similar entries, PSCs, and demographically similar entries have been found through the use of software and field verification. They were circulated to all the DOs and also to the respective BLOs to do a field verification of those who are found to be in the demographically similar entries or the photo similar entries. The special proactive steps were taken for the registration of PWDs, old age, and also the third gender. In this, we took help of the welfare departments, respective departments. For example, the welfare department, whenever the question of the registration of PWDs came. So whomsoever they were giving scholarship, we just cross-checked that they are our voters. To address the issue of urban apathy, we found that there is generally an urban apathy. If I can give you an example, in the 2019 elections, general elections, and if we list all the, say, 7-8 districts where the voting has been least, 4 of them happen to be the metropolitan cities. It's all in our statistics book, which we have published. I am not naming them here, but we are focusing on the urban apathy very, very seriously. In this, our CEOs are signing the MOUs with the departments and with the industry and with the organizations who have more than 500 persons. And we have reached out to the colleges and the educational institutions. What is expected is that after the voting, if the nodal officers are appointed in these organizations with 500 plus voters, and we will try and persuade those voters after the elections, the leave-taking and non-voting voters, we will try and reach to them and say, please join next time. So that's a kind of a awareness which we will start. The Election Commission of India, in pursuance of the legal amendments, had made 4 dates, as you are all aware. And this, by virtue of this, there is a now every quarter, first of the every quarter, one can apply for the registration. And the new, now onwards, the electoral rolls will be updated every quarter. और निर्वाचन आयोग की इस पहल पर कानून में जो बदलाव किए गए, जिसके कारण 4 डेट्स में संभव है, और अब पोल गोइंग स्टेट्स में नामांकन के दिन तक भी अभी मतदाता में सूची में नाम जुड़वाया जा सकता है. तो इसमें ये भी आपके माध्यम से अनुरोध है कि अगर इतनी मेहनत करके नए वोटर्स को जोड़ने के लिए कमीशन ने और फील्ड स्टाफ ने मेहनत की है, तो उनको भी आगे बढ़ के वोट देने आना चाहिए. Friends, I'll also tell you how many specifically benefited by this amendment. I'll come to it and tell you. In an election, voters are our primary stakeholders, and therefore, even those who do not have a voter epic, by and large, we have now ensured that the voting epic card reaches everyone. It's being delivered even now, but by chance, if you don't have, there are these many, almost a dozen other documents through which one can vote. So one need not be worried. What is important is to come to the booth with any one of these, even if one doesn't have an epic. Now the next important thing is the polling station. And that's the next point at which we interact with the voter. The effort is to make the voting experience, it's quite protocol based, but we are still trying that the experience becomes far more enjoyable in the true spirit of the festival of the democracy. Our COs and DOs have been asked to identify the lowest polling percentage booth in each constituency. This is what we are doing to increase our awareness and persuade the voters to come and vote. And they are going personally to the polling stations which are having the least percentage of voting below the average in their each respective constituencies. So they'll try and find out what is the issue, why there is a lesser percentage of voting in those particular booths. They'll try and bring them up to the level of the general voting in that particular constituency. Friends, कमीशन का एक दूसरा फोकस है जो हमेशा रहा है, उसमें आगे हर बार नई चीज जुड़ती है, वो ये है कि हर पोलिंग स्टेशन पर कुछ बेसिक सुविधाएं निश्चित रूप से उपलब्ध रहनी चाहिए। तो ये जितनी बेसिक सुविधाएं हम आपको स्लाइड के माध्यम से भी दिखा रहे हैं, एवरी पोलिंग स्टेशन वुड हैव ए रैंप which is accessible for the PWDs, drinking water, electricity, shade, and volunteers for the PWDs for the old age. So every polling station would be on a ground floor so that it is not problematic for anybody to climb. तो जितना भी comfort polling station पे दे सकते हैं वो देने का प्रयास हम लोग कर रहे हैं, और इन इलेक्शंस में 100% सर्टिफिकेट डीओ से लिया जा रहा है कि सब पोलिंग स्टेशंस पर ये सुविधाएं उपलब्ध हैं। फ्रेंड्स, कुछ पोलिंग स्टेशन ऐसे होंगे जिसमें जो सिर्फ महिलाओं के द्वारा ही मैनेज्ड होंगे, ऑल पोलिंग पर्सनल एंड ऑल्सो इवन द सिक्योरिटी स्टाफ 100% women oriented. So this is our every assembly would have at least one and more in certain pockets. So महिलाओं के सशक्तिकरण को दर्शाने का चुनावों के इस माध्यम से भी हम लोग एक बहुत सशक्त माध्यम बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, ताकि एक्सपीरियंस भी एक बहुत अच्छा हो और साथ साथ एक सशक्तिकरण को भी वो प्रदर्शित कर सके। फ्रेंड्स, सिमिलरली some polling stations will be managed entirely by our PWD staff, or they will be ready to welcome the voters. And आपके माध्यम से ये भी हम लोग कहना चाहते हैं, और कमीशन में बहुत ही इसके बारे में सेंसिटिविटी है, कि जो PWDs हैं वो एक्चुअली बहुत मायने में हमसे बहुत ज़्यादा एबल्ड हैं। उनका चिंतन, उनका भाव, उनके इमोशंस, उनकी सहनशीलता, बहुत चीज़ हम लोगों से ज़्यादा है। सो व्हाट दे रिक्वायर इज एसेंशियली द इक्विटी एंड इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज, नॉट mere sympathy. And therefore, we are very, very conscious that we will cover all the PWDs, mark them. I'll give you a figure as to how much we have marked all India, and you would be happy to know that. I'll come to that slowly. Now, maybe at the cost of repeating, I would reiterate, if we as the Election Commission team put in such concerted efforts to ensure a polling station within 2-kilometer reach for voters, replete with all kinds of facilities, I would appeal to the voters to value their hard-earned right to franchise and come out to vote in maximum numbers so that मतदाता रूपी इंद्रधनुष हर बूथ पर दिखाई दे। Now I come to, friends, the postal ballot facility for the absentee voters, because it would be happening first time in these elections. Commission has decided and introduced this in the last round of elections, that 80 plus age voters, PWDs and COVID infected voters, we would provide a form 12D, and if they are willing, if they want to come to the polling station, every effort would be made to make it very, very comfortable there, and we encourage it. But in case somebody is ill and is not able to come, the commission would go to their house and get the vote conducted. And जैसे पिछली बार एक दो जगह में ये सूचना मिली थी कि कुछ शिकायत मिलने की उम्मीद थी कि आपने वोटर्स का उनका कोई इन्फ्लुएंस हो सकता है घर पर, उसको खत्म करने के लिए भी एवरी एंटायर प्रोसेस वुड बी वीडियोग्राफ्ड। साथ में कैंडिडेट्स के एजेंट्स को पहले से ही सूचित किया जाएगा कि किस दिन वोट लेने जाएंगे, वो साथ में जाएंगे, जा सकते हैं, एंड एवरीथिंग वुड बी वीडियोग्राफ्ड। सो विदाउट कंप्रोमाइजिंग द सीक्रेसी ऑफ वोट, द फैसिलिटी ऑफ वोटिंग वुड बी एक्सटेंडेड राइट फ्रॉम द कंफर्ट ऑफ देयर होम। एंड you would be happy to know, in the entire country, there are 1.82 crores voters who are 80 plus. And you would further be happy to know